Incidentally, we have several more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call a police station, before they even leave, they'll take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
the struggle with the ASIS strike.
You have done your work, you have put us to the wall. We are not the slaves.
I'm not a small boy. You should have given me the report. I have not seen the report.
Welcome to Global Morning.
The death toll from flooding.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies too, for sure.
Incidentally, we have several more stories.
the legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call a police station, before they even leave, they'll take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
the struggle with the ASIS strike.
You have done your work, you have put us to the wall. We are not the slaves.
I'm not a small boy. You should have given me the report. I have not seen the report.
All right, welcome. It's the World International Day for Happiness, and it's been celebrated every 20th March, and 2024 is no exception. And from the cast and crew of a Global Morning Africa's Finest Breakfast Show, we are saying Happy International Day of Happiness, even though my producer tells me it seems nobody's happy in Africa's biggest black nation, Nigeria, due to the economic situation. But we must be happy because we are alive. And I'm not alone in the studio. I've got my co-anchor right here, and I guess she's also happy.
Of course, I am. Good morning to each and every one of you. And it is a beautiful day. Happy International Day of Happiness. And of course, we'll be giving you programs, running down programs. But Anthony mentioned about the economy, but you know, in all, let's be positive. Let's try as much as possible to be happy.
All right, we intend to make you truly happy by giving you all the big things, especially very key stories making the rounds in Nigeria and across the globe. Also, trending stories on the social media. We've got some little gist as regards what's playing out with the French president, and also down here in Nigeria, many things are happening in the last 24 hours, and we'll be sharing that with you, and not forgetting taste and texture, where we'll be talking about some delicacies. Probably you could have them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, depending what the menu is for today. We'll also be looking at the big stories making the rounds on our Nigeria's national dailies, and hopefully we'll be getting some very fine minds to help us do some analysis. Our sports is not far behind, as we'll be giving big stories making our round in the exciting world of sports.
And let's not forget business will be coming up as well to know what businesses are making rounds, of course, in Nigeria as a whole. Let's quickly go on a quick break, and then when we return, we'll get back to the topic or discuss of the day. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
All right, welcome back. Let's begin our tidbits from what is playing out. Very sad commentary. Yesterday, the Nigerian Army, began a 3-day mourning of the 17 slain soldiers. A lot of update has come out of that very sad occurrence that played out in Okuoma local government community in Ughelli South local government in Delta State. But the big story here is also like the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, is saying something, because he is, or that's the picture there of the slain soldiers. May they rest in peace, our fallen heroes. That's what the headline there says. The Senate President has says he does not believe the killers of the military men are from the Niger Delta. He believes they are mercenaries brought in to cause havoc, chaos between the army and the people of the Niger Delta, because we've had that experience in OD where the then president Olusegun Obasanjo sent in the Nigerian army to go wipe a whole community. And since that era, the people of the Niger Delta have been worried about, harming
such incidents.
Harming the army. So it's very unusual that in Ughelli such a thing could have occurred. So what the Senate President said, is it true, or is he just trying to protect his people?
Well, I would say let us look at it keenly. Have you ever wondered, the individuals, that's the youth, definitely it will be the youth because they're not armed, let's talk about weaponaries, for instance. Where would they get that kind of sophisticated weapons to actually wipe out and slaughter, in quote, military personnel, from the colonel to the major and, of course, the captain and the soldiers combined? It's so sad to see that. I think he's speaking my mind when he says machineries must have been hired to do that sort of job.
All right, from the angle I'm coming from, I think the officers I think there's something fishy. My question is, why would all top-ranking officers go with junior officers in one swoop into a community where they're having communal clash without first doing the groundwork of making sure peace have been achieved to an extent before they come in? Because when you have so high level of officers, that job is not for high-level officers to walk into such an ambush. I feel like there's an oil interest there, and for the people to have, gotten so angry as to attack those high-level officers. And those officers, they don't go in such assignments without a lot of bodyguards and, lot of itinerary. So I'm wondering, for that ambush to have occurred, there's something fishy. I feel also the army might not is telling us the whole truth, what really happened for those officers to be killed just like that.
Okay, let me explain. Let me explain something to you. You see, the CEO of that particular terrain, Lieutenant Colonel Ali.
Yes.
If you read his history, he's a gallant officer who has served, fearless.
For him to be taken out. He actually, there's something called moral support. When you see your head, a colonel or a lieutenant, that colonel, if you see your, let me finish. Okay. If you see a colonel or a lieutenant colonel coming out to support that particular battle, it gives the soldiers who are less compared to his rank, because there's a cadre. We have the lieutenant colonel, we have the two majors, and we have a captain. Okay. So, of course, the superior is the lieutenant colonel, who is the commanding officer of that particular parade. So, for him to come out, giving moral support to the soldiers, it gives that gallantry that, okay, we're going there for peace. But of course, unfortunately, they were taken unawares. I didn't think they had that mind that it would result in what they saw there. That's why I feel like there was not proper intelligence work done before allowing those officers move in. Because if there was proper groundwork done, they would have found out that, okay, this youth or these two communities, their nerves are still on the high. Things are not good enough for them to just walk into, because it seemed like they just walked into an ambush and they got slaughtered. So I'm saying the Nigerian army, they're well, equipped. So it wouldn't have been so easy for the youth to have taken them all out if that means they didn't do a background check before coming into the community at that time.
Or maybe it's not possible. So or maybe they were misinformed.
So that's why I'm saying the intelligence, there's something wrong about it. Either somebody, there was a saboteur among the military that set them up, or there was something to share that made all the major, the lieutenant, whoever, to go in one swoop and now agreeing to allow the boys even go in first and see what's happening before they come in, because that should be the tradition. And so I feel like there's something fishy there, that we've not gotten the truth of how these men were slaughtered.
So let's look at what the senator says, Senator Godswill Akpabio. So that means it's not far-fetched from what he is saying, and saying that maybe there are machineries that came in. So
if machineries came in, so it means the international oil companies should also be probed, because for machineries to come in, you have to pay big money for those people to come in and do that kind of a job. So there's something fishy in the Niger Delta killing of 17 soldiers, and we hope there will be thorough investigations.
Exactly.
So we can get to the bottom of
what
played out. But very, very sad commentary.
And yeah, we should get to the root cause of this particular issue. It's a very sensitive one, because it's so sad to see that the families of these individuals, the Lieutenant Colonel, the slain soldiers, thinking, when is daddy going to come home? And then unfortunately this incident happened. So a thorough investigation should be ongoing in order for closure. It's very important. And
I think we also urge the military, like other Nigerians have said, they shouldn't go in. Already we saw footage and a report saying the Nigerian army had gone in trying to wipe away the people in those communities. I think it will be very wrong, because they might just end up killing innocent people.
Definitely.
And so we hope the right thing will be done and investigations carried out properly. And with what the Senate President has said, I hope they're going to keep an open mind to do a very thorough investigation. The governor of Delta State, Sheriff Oborowori, has already visited the President to have a discourse with him as regards assuring him that no such thing will happen. But let's see how it pans out in the coming days. All right, we've still got some other issues to talk about, but that will be after we go for some tastes and textures, just to whet your appetite. Then when we come back, there's a story that has to do with the judiciary. We'll be giving you that after we see what taste and texture has in store for us.
Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to another heavenly episode on Taste and Texture. I'm Fatimi Abumar. Gurasa is a local bread originating from northern part of Nigeria, especially Kano State. It is similar to bread except the dough is lighter. This local northern bread is eaten for breakfast, lunch, or as a snack. Gurasa is a homemade bread from northern Nigeria. It's been in existence since 1980s, when it was a delicacy for the rich and the royalties. It's now become a street food which masses can afford to eat. Gurasa bandashi is made with an earthenware pot known as tanderu. Although ovens are used by some elites in the community, it is usually served with yaji or suya of your choice. If you visit the northern side of Nigeria, gurasa is something everyone enjoys, and it can be enjoyed in plain or suya. That's the perfect match. If you don't want suya, you can enjoy it with peanut pepper powder, fried vegetable oil, slices of onion. It tastes and smells like suya. Now to the ingredients: 2 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons powdered milk, 1 tablespoon sugar, 1 cup of warm water or as required, 1 tablespoon active yeast, 1 tablespoon salt, oil, tomatoes chopped, onions chopped, capsicum red and green chopped, yajin kuli. Cooking instructions now. Soak yeast with warm water for 5 minutes. Mix well all the dry ingredients in a bowl. Add soaked yeast to water, mix well and make a thick and smooth batter. Cover it to rise for an hour. Gradually mix in warm water to make a dough. It shouldn't be too thin. Cover bowl tightly with a nylon and allow to sit for 25 minutes. Dip your hand in water to moisten them. Take some dough and flatten it into a baking tray or big frying pan. Smear the dough with oil, then place parchment or paper on it. If using an oven, bake at 350 to 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 12 to 15 minutes. Flatbread is not only a delicious, versatile food, but it also offers numerous nutritional benefits. Whether you're cooking for a healthier alternative or regular bread, flatbread is a fantastic choice. With its low calorie content and high protein and fiber content compared to traditional bread, it can aid in weight management and promote a feeling of fullness. Additionally, flatbread is packed with essential nutrients like vitamins and minerals, making it nutritious addition to any meal. Whether you enjoy flatbread as a wrap, pizza, crust, or a side dish, you can indulge in its incredible taste while reaping the nutritional rewards. So next time you're craving for bread option, consider reaching for flatbread and enjoy a wholesome and satisfying meal. Flatbread can be a healthier alternative to a regular bread. It generally contains fewer calories, less fat, and more fiber and protein than traditional bread, making it a great option for those watching their calorie intake or looking to increase protein and fiber in their diet. That's all for now. See you same time next time for another scrumptious episode on Taste and Texture. I remain your host, Fatimi Abba Umar.
I'm laughing extra because today's Happiness Day, so you have to be happy whether you like it or not. All right, welcome back from that tasty meal. I think I saw masa somewhere and some suya in between. The other part, I can't really tell what I saw. So.
Of course, that's a delicious delicacy from the north. It's called gurasa, one of my favorites. And I am so happy thinking about it. That's why I'm jumping up like a little girl. It's gurasa. And it's such a delicious delicacy, just like a brother to masa, but not really in the same line. And then you can actually have that with the sauce, the pepper you saw. You are just a foodie. You're just a foodie.
World Happiness Day.
World Happiness Day.
All right, let me... Okay, I don't mean to spoil your happiness, but people of the Southeast are not really happy with Justice Binta Nyako because yesterday she rejected the bail application for the IPOP leader, Nnamdi Kanu. But rather, what she did, she
adjourned.
You know, she granted the accelerated hearing of the criminal case against him. So I'm wondering, that's very funny. Reject his bail condition, but granted his request for acceleration of the trial. So probably he gets to know his fate quicker and faster. He's either guilty or not. But we've got Honorable Ikenga Ugo Chinyere, one of the lawmakers, House of saying that it was technical miscarriage of justice, because if they had granted his bail, then the people of the Southeast will be happier, and it gives room for negotiation. Then probably peace will return to the Southeast. But he is also calling on Mr. President to use his veto power to discontinue the trial. But let's see if that will be the case.
You know, for everything we know, that justice must be heard and done in the right direction. So let's see how far this plays out, and let's see. I hope it plays out well, so that all parties will be happy and there will be peace, most especially.
All right, we hope that's going to play out. But I think the president has the veto power to decide if that's going to happen or not. But like we told you quickly, let's just give you some story on the global scene. It has to do with Vladimir Putin, who just recently won his 6th term in office with 87% landslide victory. He has won the NATO and the West, specifically Germany, United Kingdom, and France, and NATO as a body, that if there was a direct, conflict between them and Russia, that's what meant the world was one step away from World War III. That's the threat by Putin. But Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, has said that Putin shouldn't be making such threats, especially when he knows his country has nuclear weapons.
Yes, they do.
And so let's see what plays out. But I like the fact that Emmanuel Macron is not scared of Putin. He talks, he can say whatever to Putin. And but it's a very delicate situation. I
Very
hope
dicey.
it's resolved, because Putin at times could be strong-headed, and you might not want to, test his might.
Okay, let's quickly go into what Putin said about NATO. He said Vladimir Putin warned the West on Monday that a direct conflict between Russia and the U.S.-led NATO military alliance would mean the planet was one step away from World War III, but said hardly anyone wanted such scenario. Of course, no one wants that kind of scenario when it comes to World War III. We know what that played out in the past, so no one will want to repeat this time around.
All right, some also interesting story about the man to the right, Macron. Some social media trending story as regards his wife, saying his wife was... It's a story he says he doesn't want anybody to publish or push forward, if not they get sued. So I don't want to be sued by the French president. So, but just to let you know, you could go around snooping. You might just get some stories as regards the bad sex of Macron's wife when she was born, and some insane stories, very interesting story. But just to let you know that Macron met his wife when he was 15 and she was 40 as a teacher. Very interesting. So she had to wait 10 years before they got hooked up later. Well, it just tells you how crazy and amazing love can be.
Yes, it is.
10 more years, 15 and 40.
That's crazy.
That's a gulf of difference. But today, we're the best couple ever. But Mr. President, he knew what he wanted from the start.
I'm sure he did, and I'm sure his parents must have choked his neck for it. But, love still, they say love conquers all, they say. So congratulations to them. But I'm sure he really loved her.
All right, yes, plenty love for them to share. That's why it's French love. But let's take you to this, my first love, which has to do with football and sports. So let's take you to the sports arena to get the big stories there. That when we come back, then I'm sure it will be time for Global AM News. Stay with us.
Stick around.
Hello, sports friends. Welcome to Sports News Update. Nigeria's under-20 female football team, the Falconets, reached the finals of the women's football event at the 13th African Games in Ghana. They defeated their Ugandan counterpart 2-0 in the semi-finals of their match at the Cape Coast Stadium. The Falconets have therefore boosted their quest to clinch the gold medal in their event. The encounter was closely contested, with both teams vying for a spot in the finals. Falconets had beaten Morocco 2-0 in their first game before a 4-0 humbling of Senegal in their second Group B game to qualify for the semi-finals. Both teams had pushed for the breakthrough in the first half of the match, which ended goalless. Real Madrid have filed a complaint against a La Liga referee for allegedly ignoring racist abuse suffered by Vinicius Jr. The Brazilian 23 had become one of the best players in the world after shining for Los Blancos in recent years, but he has heartbreakingly been the victim of several racist incidents in Spain. And following the latest occurrence in a league game against Osasuna on Saturday, Real Madrid have accused referee Juan Martinez of voluntarily and deliberately ignoring the abuse. They claim he omitted the alleged racist insult towards Vinicius in his match report on purpose, despite warnings from Real's players when they were occurring. Talking boxing, Eddie Hearn has revealed that Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury could sign a 2-fight deal to finally face each other, with one of the bouts potentially taking place at Wembley Stadium. Joshua dispatched Francis Ngannou inside 2 rounds in Saudi Arabia earlier this month and has now had 3 of his last 5 fights in Middle Eastern country. Fury also fought in Saudi Arabia last time out against Ngannou and is set to return there in May for his undisputed clash with Alexander Usyk. And talking tennis, British tennis star Emma Raducanu withdrawn from the Miami Open after sustaining a lower back injury, according to the Metro. Raducanu was due to face world number 56 Wang Zhiyu in the first round of the competition on Tuesday, but pulled out on Monday night. The extent of Raducanu's latest injury is unknown, but it could harm her chances of representing Great Britain at the Billie Jean King Cup next month. Turned to tennis in Auckland after being out of action for 9 months between April 2023 and January 2024. And that's how we call it a wrap on the Sports News Update. I am Anthony Momodu.
All right, you're still watching Africa Star Finance Breakfast Show. It's a global morning on global television, and we're still so happy because it is World International Day for Happiness. The United Nations General Assembly did mark 20th of March every year to celebrate the importance of happiness to every human global goal, which is very important for the sustainability of the human race.
And then, just to add, when we say World Happiness Day, it's a time for you to show love and what true happiness feels like. To the orphans is very important, to the less privileged. At this time around where everyone complains about the economy, it's a time where you can just show that love so that everyone can truly be happy genuinely.
As you talk equity and you talk about inclusion and also the fact being fair is also a part of being happy.
Very
and we're urging everybody across board, no matter what structure of the national life you're involved in, you could ensure that there is happiness. And for workers across the globe, today is 20th, so you've got 10 more days of hustle. You're going to be happy, double happy. All right, so I know people are always happy when I talk about the business end of the month.
When it comes to salaries.
All right, she had to spell it completely out.
You said it.
All right, so it's going to be us now leaving you a little bit so that we can run into the newsroom where the Global AM News is steaming red hot for you to savour and get all the big stories making the rounds on the foreign scene and also in Nigeria so that you're well informed to ensure that today, Wednesday, which happens to be the middle of the pack of the week, you're well prepared between.
People tag it the Women Crush Wednesday.
Okay, this is the first time hearing. I call Wednesdays a midweek sports day.
Okay.
It's usually my favorite day because I feel sports and everything is always in between. And Wednesday, it's a very...
It's just when you celebrate women who have done a lot of great deal when it comes to the nation building, all of that. Celebrating
what of the
women.
Men? Why everything has to go?
Nah, women come first.
Okay, you didn't hear that? That's a personal opinion. That's not Global Money's opinion. Okay, but we celebrate. Women's Week was last 2 weeks, right? Okay,
Yes, it was.
Done and dusted.
Yeah.
Once again, happy International Day.
Stay tuned, don't go anywhere. Up next is AM News.
welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television. We are live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anthony Momodo. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has called on the newly sworn-in officials of the Federal Capital Territory Administration not to perform below the action of the administration. The minister gave the charge during the swearing-in of the first head of service, permanent secretaries, chairmen, and commissioners of the FCT Civil Service Commission, Abuja Metropolitan Management Council, and the Satellite Towns Development Department in Abuja. Will send those who will fail to perform parking. Kikelomo Okere has the details.
The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory charged to be committed to works. He described the occasion as a memorable day for FCT, urged the new appointees to support the government of President Tinubu in realizing the New Hope agenda, and warned the newly sworn-in permanent secretary against issuance of queries for non-performance.
Again, to the permanent secretaries, yes, you have been made a permanent secretary, but you know what comes with it. As a permanent secretary, you have become a political appointee.